good day again, guys. It's Chris on the digital platform of currencies and purchasing and use of finances while in the Philippines. This is the third video. I'm going to hope to tie this up with this information I'm now going to offer you, right? So let's go back to the two options, which are generally the Maya and Gcash. Now, I'm at the point now where we're talking about using these items to get around, buy things, flight tickets, foods, point of service sales, and whatever else. Yeah. Now, what is very useful with these digital system services is that they're automatically linked to um, your mobile phone services over here. And there's about 4 or 5 different services over here, but I'm going to pinpoint the three I believe are the most popular ones, right? There's one called Ditto. It's a very new one on the block. It seems to have a wider range of service on many of the islands than some of the existing boys, which is Global and what's the other one? Smart. Now, Ditto is pretty much only a mobile phone service provider. Global is also another mobile phone service provider, but I think it also offers things like cryptocurrencies, trading, and a few other things like that. Now, the one I'm using, which is Smart Service, is an all-inclusive package or a much more established system in the Philippines, because most people and homes and families use it for uh, like for internet services. What is it? But buying online, purchasing, paying their bills, their ancillary items, maybe even the kids' fees. So it's a much more um, fundamentally better system, certainly on the main islands. Okay, let's talk about Smart then. I've got Smart, and how I had to approach that was, and I think most foreigners have found this, is when you actually come here, you tend to have to get these one monthly plans. Sometimes two, if you're lucky, depends on which island you're on. But if you come into Manila or Cebu, they tend to offer you the 1 month, 30-day plan because they think that's how long you're going to stay here. And trying to get anything longer than that really is kind of tricky because they start asking you for all sort of other documentation. And again, we go back to what I was saying earlier on. The longer you're here, the easier this process and activity to get these options will be for you. So I did about 3 months, and then after I did the 3 months, I paid the 3 months, monthly stages, and I got fed up of it, and I thought, you know what, there's got to be another way around this. So I kept going to different shops, talking to them. They're all giving the same spiel. I'm thinking this don't seem right. So when I applied for my ACR card in my third month, it showed that I had a 6 month stay. So I think this was really the turning point for me getting this. Because I had the ACR card, they obviously saw that I was serious, that I have actually committed to staying in the country for another 6 months, which would make it a total of 8 months. Yeah? Or 9 months, 9 months. So I walked into another shop. I said, look, guys, I've got an ACR card here. It's a tourist card, I know, but I've got another 6 months and I've been here. They can look at my passport, saw my visa, and they said, okay, Mr. Jones, yeah, let's see. I said, look, I don't want a 30-day one. What's my longest period I can stay that you can give me as a contract? I don't mind a contract. So she went off and talked for like 20 minutes with the boss, the manager, and came back and said, Chris, Mr. Jones, we can do a year for you, but we'll have to take the full payment now, and then you just continue it for the whole year. And I thought, oh wow, progress. So I did that. I paid like 6,000. 6,000, about £160, right? And I've got the whole year. I've got, I think it's like about 10 gigabytes every month, which can roll over to the next month. So if I'm running low, I can actually say, look, guys, I want you to move forward, kind of like concertina it, so I can use more of my credit, but reduce my length of time. I haven't done that yet, but it's an option. So anyway, that's what I've got now. I don't use the TV and all that stuff, just strictly for walking around wherever I go. Even though Smart isn't really perfect on every island, it's still the better service. on the main islands in particular, but I still have access to do things using my Google Maps, etc. It's really useful. Okay. The other thing is I wanted to point out is that with these services, there is an awful lot of choice. What I mean is by you can do 3 weeks now. I think I can see you can do 2 weeks if you wanted to. You can get a SIM card, a free SIM card, which they top up, or some of them you actually have to buy the SIM card then top up. So it depends on what really you're looking for. If you're short term here or long term, all right. Um, but effectively, the internet service is not as bad as most people rant on about on YouTube. Really, it just depends on where you are. But I think in a majority of cases, it works. And I've not had an awful lot of issues with it. So, um, I wanted to also go back to types of bank accounts, right? Types of bank accounts. You can have about 6 different banks in the mainland, and they all offer similar things. They can do crypto for you. They can do bank transfers for you at a cost. They can do. You can invest in life insurance. You can do house purchase. There's all sorts of other bolt-ons that they have. I'm not using that yet because I want to get to grips with everything else going on around me first. Yeah, but what I did do because I thought it would be another useful plus in my box, yeah, tick box, is that if I open not only a pesos account, but a US dollar currency account. So I went back to my bank, which is Bank of Philippines National Bank, and I said, look, this is what I've got, Pesos Bank, and I've got now got the ATM card for my Pesos account, which is brilliant. I don't use it because I mean, there's no point. Because here's the thing, I might as well. I'm kind of moving around a bit here, but let's try and clarify something. When you put that set figure that they ask from you to put into your pesos account or your US dollar account, the US dollar account was $500 to open the account. The pesos account was, how much was that? 10,000 pesos. Now, the thing is, that money has got to stay in there. It's actually dead in the water, to be honest. You're not, I think I'm earning a little bit of interest, but it's nothing to write home about. But here's the thing is, if you don't, over a 2 year period, use these accounts, you won't have access will stop, which then means you've got to go to the banks, the specific bank you were when you opened it, not anyone, not any branch, just that branch, and then you've got to provide your documents and go through the process to reinitialize it again. Who wants to do that shit, right? Okay. Additionally, if you have that 10k pesos or how much is it, 500 US dollars in each of these accounts accordingly, and for some reason you drop below that figure, that's the minimum figure to open the account. If somehow you drop below that, they will charge you. They add the charge, and it's a cumulative over how many months that you've had it. So there's a standard charge, and then there's the accumulate aggregate price added on that for every day or every week that you had it below that range. So that's a very important thing to remember. And I've made notes and shit to remind me every so often. And even before I leave the country, and if I leave in a year's time, I want to make sure that money can still go in there from the digital side, from the Gcash or the Maya. I pay something, and even if it's like 20 US dollars or 100 pesos, just pay there to keep it active, right? It's a bit of a pain in the ass, actually. Who needs it? But that's one thing that I think you need to keep track of. But effectively, what I'm saying is, the more you do in the country, the more things you do that leaves an audit trail, shows that you have a historic value, a historic audit trail of some sort, yeah, and is valid and is good quality. This will allow you, as I'm hoping it will, because in about wow 3 weeks time I've got to apply for another ACR card of 6 months because that's the maximum you can get. Now, what I have heard as well is that the ACR card policies have changed about a month ago. So I could well go to Manila, which I'm doing tomorrow. I'm going to stay there a month before I have to make a decision. I'm going to prepare my documents, and then I'm going to go and try and see if I get the 6 months. But all the news I'm reading from the papers, the online stuff, is that the rules have changed for these ACR cards. It could well be that it's no longer available for 6 months, and we're going to be defaulting to the 2 months. which is a real pain in the butt. Because for me, if I'm traveling around the different islands, you may not think it's far, but if you're traveling from, let's say, Manila to here, which is Davao, that's an hour and a half, but it's about £70, and then you fly back to Manila to gain for another 2 months to do that. This could end up being quite a costly collection over a period of time. So if I don't get my 6 months and I can only get 2 months, what I will do is I will map out the whole of the Philippines on where these immigration centers are. That would be the only way that I don't have to keep going back to Cebu or Manila to do that shit. I can minimize my travel time and find local immigration centers that can speed it up, that can do it for me, extend my 2 months without the extra charge and the travel to these other big cities. So I hope this is also helpful for you guys, but it should help you in terms of having a better appreciation of how the system works here. And to be honest, the system seems to be changing rapidly. I think it could be based on the kind of problems some of the foreigners are creating, because a lot of foreigners are being stupid now. They're actually running out of money. They're not leaving the country on time. They're being thrown in jail for not, uh, should we say, toeing the lines with the guidelines and the rules. Just really stupid people. So this could be a knee-jerk reaction, as well as other things that the government's putting in place. It's a mechanism to remove certain individuals or groups that have either been here very long, that are not really going to be beneficial to the country, and that are causing them a headache. So we'll watch this space and see what happens. But I'll keep you updated on anything else I know, guys. All right? Be safe. Chris in Davao. I travel to Manila tomorrow, and I'll let you know what happens with my 6 months ACR application. Yeah, it's alien registration card. See you guys.